a few seconds. Sometimes takes a few seconds. Alrighty, and apparently we're live. Debate 15. I'm Ice White, creator of Game Global. I'll be acting as moderator and hosting this debate between Avery Hayden and Deepak Dating. Super chats $5 USD or more will be read out in the beginning, increasing as we go on. And Avery, you're the guy who wanted to put this one together, I guess. Where did you want to start?
I guess the main disagreement or difference in philosophy I probably have from Deepak is I saw some clips or something from one of your debates where you talked
Mm-hmm.
about some of the verbal game things you use, and
Mm-hmm.
I just
Yeah.
thought they were way too performative, button pushy. Um, like they're kind of like the very old school opinion openers, if you remember some of those, where they were just kind of
Mm-hmm.
cheesy, right? And I think they do more harm than good when you get into the mode of like, I'm robotically saying these lines and I'm memorizing this
Mm-hmm.
script. I've had a lot of clients who, when they do that, like you can tell the girls feel uncomfortable and they feel this like friction from it because the guy's putting on a mask, and that basically you're a lot better off learning how to free associate, learning how to um, come up with things on the spot and focus more on your overall vibe.
Okay. Okay, I got it. Okay, that's so you are saying that I teach guys like a structured kind of game, verbal game, like some routines, old school routine or something like that.
They're similar to
Uh,
like they're your own
some
routines as far as I know, but they remind me of that a little bit. Yeah.
yeah. So like you have to understand like a simple concept. When we learn something, we need some kind of structure. For example, you are going to imagine you want to be a sales guy. So we just cannot go to the you know um for you are going to sales school. You want to learn selling. So you
Hmm.
learn a structure like how to sell, how to understand human emotion and gathering the information from that person, and as well as they have a structure like these kind of specific questions you have to ask. You are learning guitar, for example, so they are like specific structure you are following. But once you are proficient in that kind of guitar or sales, you can do free flow because you can now you understand the structure on the subconscious level, and you can then be free flowing. Understand? So in
Hmm.
the old school, you are talking about the old school. The problem with the old school was it was too much based on routine, too much based on very structured game, like this routine after this routine after this routine. They were never able to learn. They never able to incorporate that inner game part at the when we were to talk about mystery time. Then the Tyler came, Owen Cook came, and he bring the okay, cut off the like remove the structure and all these routines, and we just do the inner game. The problem is that when you are just focusing that kind of inner game free flow like this Tyler Owen Cook RSD style type of game, the problem with that system is that it is just like I'm going to sell something, but I don't know like anything. I just go, I'm just feeling happy, buy my product, this. So that was the main issue with this thing. So the best system is the when you're using the both thing. So if I explain you, you're when you're going to the gym, so when you're lifting weights, sometimes you need a spotter. So to lift when you're lifting heavy weights. But once you get like proficient in lifting, then you don't need, you can just lift by yourself. So structure, when I say something to the student, okay, now it's time. Tell your story. Tell your story means you're talking about yourself in a positive way, which is showing a bit high value about, like, high about yourself, because girls see you, and she will sometimes see, like, what we say, judge. She will judge you what you say. Simple. So when we say positive thing about ourselves, then she will think positive about it. So this is like a structure, small structure. It is not like I am talking like like a old routine style. Make sense? I'm not talking about
So
old routine style. Yeah.
when you say positive about
Or
yourself, that's, I think, an
yeah.
example that can backfire very easily, because you talk positive about yourself, the surface level, you say, oh, look at my Rolex, the saying positive about yourself, but they're going to take
Yeah.
it as try hard, right?
That's so. Yeah, that's it. Like so here again, like how we say why we say it. For example, now imagine like I have to be slightly, you know, I will not say controversial. We have to go slightly more, go deeper. So
Hmm.
every person has a stereotype. So for example, you go to, imagine we go both to, imagine to Colombia or say Thailand or Philippine. So when the girls see you as a, you know, guy from USA, she will see, okay, this is a like a one type of positive, one type of stereotype. When the girls see me as an Indian guy, she will see, okay, this is a different different
Hmm. Yeah.
stereotype. So based on, for example, even for example, we your location is in Vegas, yes?
Hmm.
You're in Las Vegas. So
Hmm.
imagine even I go to, as an Indian guy, go to Vegas on the strip, and you are there on the strip. So the girls will, when they see both of
They
us,
put you in
they
a
will see
box.
different
They make assumptions
stereotype.
about you. Yeah.
Exactly. So what happens when we are having a stereotype? So when I talk about myself something, then girl is more likely to believe, at least it is, if it is believable. I'm not going to say that I'm like, you know, CEO of this, like, you know, 10,000 people working under me. But for example, if a guy is coming as a, imagine if a guy is a nurse, if a guy is a nurse in a hospital, um, then I can say he knows all the medical things. So I can say that you're a doctor. If a guy is a simple programmer, so I will say, okay, just say that you are a head team lead of this company and working like and 20 people working under you, and you are making this app and this something related to that is congruent to him.
Or just
I'm
say
not
that
going to
you're a
say
DJ when you're not, is another good one.
DJ, but the problem is that when I say the DJ thing, so it can come as a lie, because when the conversation go deeper, I say like, you can say like part-time DJ. I will not say full-time professional profession. So I will say, like, you can say part-time DJ, so that the girl will not completely fix on it, and then you don't know anything. We There was a one incident in New York. The guy said that I'm a part-time DJ, but I'm a, you know, working in, you know, XYZ investment company. He was a simple programmer, and that works fine for him because he's not completely making his personality that I'm a DJ, and then what kind of music, and he's listening to some only, you know, Hindi music and all, has no idea of DJing. So in that way it still worked, because we are not completely focusing on it. So I'm not saying like you are, I am a owner of a strip club. You know, if you are owner of the strip club, why you're doing on the street, or why you're good gaming on the street? You understand? So
Yeah.
we are.
I mean, I was being somewhat sarcastic. That's what John Anthony says he's a DJ. That's
Hmm.
like his main line he tells every girl. Um, but it's kind of similar what you're saying to that, because you're saying exaggerate the career. So there's a whole separate conversation about ethics, which I'd say that's unethical. Like, I'd say avoid lying as much as possible, because it's like it can work. I'm not saying it can't work, but you're doing that, and then anything you do where you're being unethical, it kind of erodes your trust, and there's consequences to that. Like, then you're going to be less trusting. It's like the people who are the most paranoid about being cheated on. Who are they? The people that cheat, right? They tend to be very. It's the same thing. There's a projection that happens. So if you're treating people in a way where you're saying things to make yourself look better, then I think there's consequences to that you want to avoid. just like psychologically, right? How you're going to feel about yourself, your self-esteem, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like John Anthony Lifestyle saying he's a YouTuber.
he, he probably
Okay,
does say that, but
so the the ethics and all, like I relate everything because I had it when I came to like Europe. It was really tough for me to get results, and I have like different type of experience in different situation,
Mhm.
and I learned from lot of people, and there was a time I was hanging around with lot of Arab guys and understanding the mindset. I
You say
guess
Arab
like.
guys?
Arab guy, yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes. Like, because they do really tends to do
I mean,
really
what I see
well
in
in
Vegas, Arab
Europe.
guys will like they approach and then they'll like offer the girls to buy them shit, and they have a
Uh,
very interesting way of going about it.
yeah, it can be, but like I have met, like I was looking for when I was like not good in game, and I was looking for the guys who were cooler, like good in game.
Alright.
And in the start, I definitely like went to I was hanging around with like very good looking guys, and I noticed that whatever they do, it is not working for me. Then I
Fair.
definitely look for the
Mhm.
guys who were who were on the looks level lower than me, but having much higher quality of girls. Then I
Mhm.
said like that's like something I can learn from, and that helped me the inner game thing. So it is the we're talking about ethics and moral and ethics. So I tends to connect everything together. So politics, religion, dating,
Mhm.
they all interconnected with each other. Even geopolitics, I see they are all like they are connected to each other. So ethics is something is human defined. Moral and ethics are just human defined. Whatever the ethics you have right now, maybe 500 years ago, it was not like that. Whatever the ethics
So we're going into
you
like
had,
Jordan Peterson level, like
yeah, like
going
100 years
broad.
ago, 100 years ago, it is
Mhm.
it is it is different. And what gonna be ethics maybe in 200 years later, like in future, it will be different. So I really like moral and ethics, like if you see, like I see as like in how you win the game, like it's about winning. It is and it is about winning,
Well,
and
yeah, but then
not a, yeah.
winning is, I mean, let's say you lied and you get a particular girl, but
Hmm.
I'd say the women with the higher self-esteem they are, the higher quality they are, the less they're going to react well to that kind of person, right? The more they're going to, just like someone who does whatever it takes and says whatever, like they feel off about that, whereas they're more receptive to someone who's just straight up and direct and honest. And I also think there's an internal part of it. It's not, take out the ethics if you want, not just ethics. It's also if you are untrustworthy, you start to see things differently. You start to see people differently, and you start to be less trusting as well.
I
I
mean,
just don't think it's
I
good
do
for
not.
your inner game, your psychology.
Inner game is uh, like I mean, like this is something. I mean, this is how you think, but inner game is how I say, like I don't really see in this way. Um, at the end, like for example, let's talk about the girls. So you are saying that if somebody is lying to the girl, and then uh, if the girl find out that he had lied about his profession or even age or something, then what gonna happen? Then it gonna go like wrong. So here the answer I have, like like I have experienced it by myself. So the girl's decision is based on emotion, and for example, there are like many cases I have already seen, like I say something different about my age, and then later in the relation, you know I forget it what I said, and then it find out, and it still worked at that time. So in the start, when you're meeting the girl, she don't know about you, so she can judge you for your age or for anything. So that time you say something different. But when you're in the relation, or when the she is already into you, then her decision is based on that part, that how strong she feel about you, that feeling. So if you have a good game, if you good game, then what will happen, that lying about, some things you said, something about the age, or something you said about, your job, it is not going to matter that much.
It-
But if you have a bad game, if you are not having a solid game, solid relationship game, then it's gonna backfire, because if she's already not into you.
right. So she might stay with you. I'm not saying that's not possible, but it's still a breach in trust, right? And so when there's a breach in trust, it's going to affect the way they see you to some degree. So it doesn't mean they'll break up with you. So for example, I know guys who like they want to have a girl um they want to have multiple girlfriends. It's open for them and it's not open for the girl or whatever. And some girls might be fine with that if they're bisexual or whatever. But what a lot of girls is, if they're really into the guy, they'll go along with it, but they despise it. They hate it. They don't really want to do it. They just go along with it. I mean, I did this once way back in the day, so I'm not judging. But they try to make the girl go along with it, and then she resents him, and that comes out in the way she sees him, the way she treats him, and then the relationship becomes toxic. So when you talk about winning, I think winning is about the quality of woman. It's about the quality of relationship when you're like thinking long term. Like getting laid a lot is not necessarily, it's better than not getting laid at all. But I know plenty of guys who get laid a lot and they don't even enjoy it. They don't even really like the girls. They go for low quality, like girls that they don't even really find that attractive because they're just addicted to the idea of getting laid. In fact, we all probably know at least one example of that. But that's something that is common. And so winning, I think, needs to be broken down to like some more nebulous things like, how do you get along with the girl? How healthy is the relationship? And what kind of girl are you able to get and keep? Whereas I think the more you do things like lie or something manipulative or deception to get what you want, the more that's going to come back at you because the girl's going to feel resentment towards you for doing that.
I mean, as long as if you able to have the control over the relation, if you have the majority of the time, what happens is the guy lose the control. The guy became less dominant, beta, a bit submissive. Then this happens. As long as you have the control over the relation, you have the dominant. You are the dominant guy in the relation.
Sure.
She will follow your lead. Simple as that. There is like, I mean, I have done like so much things, and even present at this time also, my girl is like way more educated than me, but I have the complete control over the relation, and the age thing also. It happened. I said something else, and then it happened. I have done it multiple times when I'm dating like very young girls. So I'm like 47, and they just say okay, whatever, like
Yeah, but just complying doesn't
and
necessarily mean it's in a good way. Like you can have a manager who's like a huge dick and the employees will still do what he says, but they fucking hate him secretly and they're still gonna the relationship they have is gonna be more tense, more tumultuous. They're not gonna enjoy the time with each other as much. And I'm saying that's important is
so
like the
this is
respect you have for each other.
this is what you are saying, hating him. But as long as they can say whatever, as long as they are complying to him, and their action is not showing that they are hating him, that's fine. As long as, like, again, if you are saying that the girl will hate that person who is lying, but as long as her actions are not showing that she is hating that person, it's
I
all
think they
good.
usually do eventually show that.
Yeah, if they are, then he
You
has
start
to
getting
make the decision.
fights and
And
arguments and all that stuff,
yeah,
and that's what
then
I happens a lot.
he has to man up and change the things. And I have many situations where the guys are completely honest. What about that? The guys are completely honest. They never lied, but the girls are fighting with them. I mean, there are some situation happen in my relations also. Time to time the girls are like that, but I
Well, yeah,
have
if
the
you get a
ability to
girl who's
control.
low self-esteem, it doesn't matter. Like you can treat her well, treat her badly. She's still gonna treat you badly if she's like really sees herself low, or she has borderline personality disorder, very common, or something like that. It doesn't really matter. But I'm saying part of your job is to screen for the higher quality girls. And then part of your job is the way you actually treat those girls. So it doesn't guarantee it just because you're like respectful that they're going to be, you can be respectful in a very beta way and like get girls who take advantage of you too, right? So there, it's not just black or white.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, for example, you're talking about the ethical part. Yeah, this the morals and ethics part. So, like something, if we are like lying and it is not morally correct. So, um, now here comes like in the geopolitics. So this is what I was trying to understand the religion and the geopolitics and our life also, like how we live our life. And so for example, USA, they do lot of things in the geopolitics, and it is they when they have a goal, like for a particular country, they go relentlessly follow that goal, either by lying, deceive, or whatever, by force, by dominance, by whatever things. They just keep on relentlessly going for that goal. And at the end, like, the world still see USA as a superpower, because USA has the power. USA can do whatever they want, and nobody's judging them in one way. Like nobody they confront, like openly. So
Not openly,
I
but that's
think,
an important.
yeah. But in one way, you see, like this is if a guy lose the power in the relation, that's where the problem come. As long
Well,
as
I
he has
also
the
think if you
power,
have
he
the
has the
power and you abuse it,
dominance.
that's bad too.
Yeah, even in religion, I will not use the name of the religion, in some religion. So if you are lying, and the lying is doing good for the religion, then it is not seen as a bad thing. I will not use any name of that religion, because that's their and I find it like I learned, I mean, if and the religion is very successful religion, one of the most successful religion.
Mm.
So they have the literally the concept, any truth that is hurting the religion, you should not say that truth. If the truth, if the lie is benefiting the religion, it is better to lie, if it is making good to the religion. And it is the most successful religion right now. And so then I understood, okay, like, so like lying about something, if the in the geopolitics it's going on, in the even religion is going on, so then it is more about the power. If you have the power, then you can make a lie truth. If you are weak, then your truth will also become lie. So the guy I met, for example, I know personally, they are like honest and everything, but they don't have the power, like
Hmm.
mentally, emotionally, and at the end they still lost. And I have seen many guys, they are having some issues, but they in the relation they are very dominant, and they manipulate and something like that, and the girl is still into them. Even sometimes the girl say, like, I don't like, but they still never leave these guys.
Yeah, I know plenty of those examples, but they tend to be, the more you know them, the more you see those relationships have a dark side. Like they are very tumultuous. There's a lot of arguments. So I'll see. Yeah, girls will date that guy, fall for that guy, and be with him, whatever. But there's consequences to acting that way. But we're kind of we. I think the first point is more important. I didn't know we had an ethics argument or disagreement. Is about the structured game versus natural game. I think you should have some structure, right? I'm not saying you should have no structure whatsoever. But first of all, I think the lines I've heard you say are just too obvious. Like they sound canned, and I think if it sounds memorized, I think
Which
that's
line?
bad.
Which line? Which line can you
I'll try to
spell?
remember exactly. It was something like, "Are you oh, you're really smiling. Is that because the weather's nice, or is that because of me? Something like that. You can,
Yeah, yeah,
correct what it is exactly.
yeah. So what is happening here? Like you are a guy and you are thinking from that logical side. Let's lot of dating coaches do this mistake. They do not understand. They always judge the other dating coach from his perspective, not from the girl's perspective. That's the problem with a lot of dating coaches are having, that, oh, my lines are cringe, my this are cringe, my that is cringe. And even like maybe you judge some other dating coach, or maybe some ex dating coach is judging other dating coach, even
Hmm.
like JAL, like, judging someone else, or someone else is judging. So they all think from their perspective, oh, this line is cringe because this is not good, this look a bit weird, this look a bit very obvious. But you have to, when somebody's saying this line when to this girl in that particular moment, and that emotional, when the girl is in that emotional state, it has a very different kind of effect. You understand? So you have to see from the girl's perspective. The girls are emotional, and at what context this line is being said, what happened before this line. So sometime if I hold the girl hand, for example,
Hmm.
what the things happened before this, when I hold the girl hand. So if you are just taking this line, this is like in one of the debate, uh, I think I know, like in which debate you're that debate with the UMP guy Marcus Wolf.
Hmm.
That guy has never showed up. That loser is gone. He's
What do you
not
mean?
coming to the debate. We talked about it, that we have to do the debate again actually, but he never
Oh,
coming on
rematch.
the debate. Yeah, rematch. Yeah, let's do the rematch. So, um, um, so you have to understand from the girl's perspective that in which emotional state the girl is in that interaction. And then when you're saying it, if I'm saying right on the start, like, the girl is smiling, like imagine like girl is smiling to like talking to some friend, she's smiling, and I come, oh, you're smiling a lot, it is because of this is because of me. Of course she will say like, no, it is not because of you, um, because of something else, because she's not yet into me. So we are saying after maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, so it has a different effect.
Sure.
Like for example, you say to the girl, you know I like you, or I love you, or whatever, so but you're saying maybe after you are meeting the girl again and again, you already slept with her, you are in a relation, then you say I love you or something. So but you're not saying on the first 10 minutes. Maybe you can say
I
on
don't know.
that
Sometimes I do.
in a
That could,
playful
you can open with "I love you"
play.
sometimes.
Sorry, sir, playful. Yeah, you do it on the playful way, but it has not the. I say also like I love you, but that was a joke. It's like we are doing playful kind of thing, but the real meaning comes after in the relation. So that's the same thing. When we are say, if I'm saying something at the wrong time, then it will have the wrong effect. So good game is about understanding the girl emotion, and according to these emotions, you are saying the right things, so that you keep the things, you keep the momentum going on, you keep the ball rolling.
Look, if a girl likes you enough, then she'll give a lot more leeway with what she'll tolerate and what she'll be okay with. So,
Hmm.
yeah, if you say something cheesy on the opener, they're more likely to be like, "Ugh, what's this guy doing?" And if you do it later, they're like, well, I already have committed to this. So they just go along with it and are like, haha. But I still think, a cheesy line is still not helpful. I think a lot of that cheesy verbal memorized game is just, it at best it's something that doesn't cause any problem, but at worst I think it just makes the girl think you're kind of like weird, and it's like, what is this guy doing? Why is he trying so hard? I've had plenty of clients. It's common with Indian guys especially, is they can be too logical and they like the memorized structure idea, right? That really appeals to them, so they'll have these memorized lines, and I see them go up to girls. This happened in Atlanta. He would use, it was like Todd V lines, but he would just say it, and he thought the lines were going to do the work for him, but it was so robotic, it was so mechanical, it was basically soulless, right? There was no soul to it. It didn't feel genuine. And so the girls would just get more and more and more tight and like uncomfortable. And you could feel the barrier building between them. That just being like, what is this guy doing? Like, why is he performing? Why is he being a dancing monkey? Right. That's what the problem with saying cheesy lines puts you in the dancing monkey frame. And what he did to get laid, or he pulled as soon as I made him drop all of that, right? And just focus on, he already knew how to keep a conversation going. So focus on that leading and then the overall vibe, right? The way he's looking at her, the way he's talking, that kind of stuff. And I think that gets you a lot farther, and focusing on that is more important because if you have the right energy, you can say cheesy stuff and get away with it. You don't need to memorize cheesy stuff though. And if you say weird, like memorized a bunch of memorized lines, first of all, it's a crutch. And so you're going to run out of lines, and then you're actually worse when you don't have memorized material. And then, so you have to learn to just be able to always come up with something to say. That's a very important skill, right? Like if you can always come up with something, then that skill is going to be very helpful in game, right? Like no matter what, you can think of something based on the environment, based on her facial expression, based on something. And so I want people to dive in and build that skill. And the more you memorize stuff, the more you get out of touch with that ability, that skill. And so that's why I think memorizing too much stuff is just, it usually leads to stuff that's kind of cheesy and kind of awkward. And you have to learn how to just get into a flow state and stop overthinking, stop overjudging.
So the thing is like when a guy is coming to me or they are like completely beginner level.
Mhm.
So what you are saying like you always come up with something. That's what we say like
I mean,
more
they should have
advanced
an
level
opener
when you
memorized for
when
sure.
so
I'd agree with you there.
yeah, so when the guy has no idea about how the conversation goes, then it is better to have a structure, and then they learn much quicker when you have the structure. And once they gain the confidence, then they can drop out the things slowly, slowly. For example, I can just go and without anything, any memorizing, I can just free flow. I can just keep on going,
Sure.
going, going free flow. But the guy, but I understand like I have a 13, 14 years of experience in game. And if a guy is coming with zero experience, then it is my level of skills. It is impossible for me to give in 6 days or 7 days or 10 days. So we have to follow a structure. So I have to also, um, have my wavelength according to the guy level so that okay, this is the guy situation,
Mhm.
this is his physical appearance, this is the things what we're going. Maybe it can happen there are some other issues with him. Maybe he's not that emotional, the emotionality is not there, so I have to
It's
build
very
a
common.
different.
That's most.
Yeah, yeah. So when you're talking about your Indian client, the it's like let me first finish this part. So now I have to adjust according to his level and drop down my level. I have to work on his level and then building him up to, as much as possible to my level. I mean, like,
Sure.
and so to get, he don't need to get to my level to get results. So a lot of guys, for example, in my boot camp, they got success, they pull the girl, they they don't reach to my level, but they pull the girls before reaching to my level because
Mhm.
I am not forcing them. Oh, you have to follow to my style of game, my style of game. It is impossible. They will not able to reach to that level. And that was the issue with this, this natural game. This is also like I see this thing also in a way that this R.S. Tyler, Owen Cook, these
Mhm.
guys learn the game from the they learn the structure game, they build the confidence, and then they drop out the structured game completely. And then when they already had this confidence of talking and they try to teach this natural game, but they hide the fact that they build that confidence through structure game.
Sure.
And that made the game very, very tough for the community. Of course, some guys who are like very good looking guys, they can just go out and just do the free flow, and the girls will be into them, and then it's gonna work. But normally, for a guy who is complete beginner, if there is a structure, he build the confidence, and then he can drop down the structure slowly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, this is the best way to learn. You slowly drop down the structure, you become more improvised. Now we talk about your guy, who is this Indian guy. So there are like level of games. So in the start, for example, if I am giving a structure, of course they will be speaking in a in not very emotional way. There are some issues. They are not very expressive. So this is the first level. Then we have to focus on the expression and emotion also. That a guy will say, like, oh, you are smiling, it is because of the sun is shining, it is because of today's Saturday, or because of me. uh, so there is no emotion. So the girl will say, I don't know. So then I have also, first he get the comfortable with the structure, maybe it will not work. But then I also teaches, like, now the next level is we have to bring that emotion, the expression part. So this is like the biggest problem. So if your Indian guy is saying the lines, but he is able to have that expression and emotion part also, then it will work. Also, you are not really required to over exaggerate. You're just like, what we say, over exaggerating too much. Here and there is okay, but if you're all the time trying to perform, over exaggerating the things, then it's the girl will see that he's trying hard. This is also, I've seen some guys, they are just trying too hard. So you just keep on talking, and then out of the blue you
Well, I
say
think
some
those kind of
flirtatious
lines are
line.
part of trying too hard.
No, you're saying out of the blue. So I'm talk. For example, I'm talking to you and just say, like, smiling a lot. It is because of this interaction, or is because of you had a good day, or the sun is not shining. Then you say, like,
Yeah, I think the
you will
girl
say
thinks, why does he
that,
need to do that? Why does he
yeah,
feel the need to do this
yeah,
weird
I
gimmicky line?
think. You say, I think, but you are not the girl. You see, you are thinking, as a dating coach, I think, but you're not the girl. What
Oh,
time you
I've
said,
seen
I'm
it
not saying,
too. I
yeah,
mean,
because I,
I've
I
seen
have the
girls react to
infield.
that kind of. I used to do
Yeah,
all
but
scripted game. That's how I
they
started.
because maybe you have not done at the right time. If you're doing at the right time, so you need to be good also, so that you know that the girl's slightly into you. The girl is smiling, looking at you, smiling. She's interested in you, listening to you. And you just out of you slowly you said, and then the girl will say sometimes, oh, it's because of I am always friendly. So she will say, I'm always friendly, something like that. Then you can say, yeah, I can understand, but I can also see in your eyes that you're enjoying this interaction. Otherwise, you won't be smiling. So now, in this way, she will say, okay, maybe he's right. You see, we are psychologically we are doing in this way, that she will say, oh, maybe I am smiling, maybe I'm liking him. We don't need to put too much on that, like, you like me, or you change the topic. We are just changing the topic. I can see in your eyes you're smiling a lot. That's why, like, that's why maybe you're enjoying this interaction, and you change the topic. So in her mind, she will think, oh, okay, I'm smiling here. Maybe I'm enjoying this interaction. Maybe I'm
And
liking
if
him.
she
So we
was
are
enjoying it,
slightly.
she'd be like, yeah, I am enjoying it. But if she
So
actually
this
wasn't, she'll see through it.
decision is based on two things, logical and emotional. Decision is based on two things. So emotionally she is going, we are logically also verbally
Yeah, but if
verbalizing
the
it, so that
emotions,
logical.
that was weird and try hard, then she's
No, no,
not
no, no,
going to
no, no,
go
no,
along
no. You are
logically.
like, there is a concept, like, this is the concept I invented at that time. So like, whenever we make decision in 2015, we're talking going back. So whenever we make decision, it is based on two things, logical and emotional, for decision to make to happen. So sometimes the girl is emotionally, she is into you, but to if you want to solidify it, then you logically, time to time, you put the frame. For example, I said, like, setting the frame, she likes you. We are setting the frame, she likes you. So time to time, we are making it sure that she likes us. So people say like, even like high value frame, authority frame, they are not very efficient frame. But if you set the frame, that she likes you, that you are going to win. That is the biggest thing I have seen. um, so how you do it in a way that in the start, for example, you say this thing, you are smiling. Maybe later you can say, for example, you're going for the instant date. Oh, I have an interesting question, like, um, you are coming with on an instant date, or imagine like she's coming for the day 2. So I have an interesting question, Tanya, like, you are coming, so what you find interesting about me, what you liked about me, depends on the confidence level, depends on, like, the vibe.
Yeah, that sounds kind
What
of
you
insecure
find.
to me.
No, you are
Like,
saying
what did you
in a
like
right,
about me? That
what
sounds
you.
like what a guy
No,
who's
no,
not very
what
confident would
yeah,
say.
no. So what you find then if you think it is insecure, then you say what you find interesting about that interaction the last time we had, that makes you decide to come with me for this thing, for coffee. And then she will say, like, oh, this, and then you can playfully say, like, and I can also see in your eyes, you know
I mean, she was
find me
already interested
attractive.
in if she's going on
So,
the date. So how do you
we are
know that made a
logically,
difference?
we are logically saying it, but you are not like, I am already seeing it. You are saying it playfully, and just keep change the interaction. You just the main thing is, you just playfully say, and then what we say, divert it to some different topic. Now in
Mhm.
her mind, she is thinking, maybe I'm liking him.
Well, if she's going on the date with
So
you, she already did.
yeah, but now again, you are logically thinking, like Hayden. You're logically, as a dating coach, you are thinking, we have to think from the girl's perspective. The girls are
Well, you're
emotional.
assuming I'm thinking from
That's
my perspective.
that you understand, the girls can be manipulated more than guys. You agree with that? The girls can be
Differently.
manipulated
I don't
much
know
more
about
than guy,
easier. Guys
because
can be manipulated
because the
too. It's
girls
just
are
different
more
ways.
emotional, but because the girls
I
are
mean,
more
women are
emotional,
great at
guys are more
manipulating
logical.
guys. It's not that hard for
No,
women to
no,
manipulate
yeah,
guys.
if
Fake
the guy is
tits,
weak,
you already got it.
yeah, but we know that we are logical. Yeah, we are logical. The girls are more
More
emotional.
logical.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
more,
say men
yeah,
are actually logical, but they're more logical than women, sure.
more logical, and they
Yeah.
are more emotional. So that's why we have to think. We have to think from their perspective, not
Yeah.
from our
I
perspective.
understand that.
If I'm talking to a guy, then he will think like, what the fuck is this going on? What is wrong with him? So
Hmm.
of course, because we are processing the things in a logical way, and why is doing like that. But when we are doing with the girl, it should be the right energy
Well,
need to be there. If energy is there, then
but too much scripted and
it
cheesy,
works.
it's bad for an emotional reason. I mean, we can talk about the emotional reason. It's bad because it's performative and it's trying too hard. It's putting in too much energy, which implies that you see your value as lower and you're putting on her a pedestal. So there's like, you need to do
No, no,
these
no, no,
things to win
no.
her
It
over.
is it is
Like, I need to say this
why.
memorized line instead of just, I can just
So value,
be
no,
myself.
there's nothing about value, low value or something like that. If your behavior is solid, there's nothing like, what do you mean by like low value? If I say something that the girl will see me low value,
If you
what do
feel
you
the
mean?
need
I
to
don't get.
do too much, right? So if you're saying stuff
No, we are not doing
that
too
is
much.
cheesy, that like the
No, no, no,
line you
no.
said would be
We
an
are not, no.
example.
For example, I will be doing like this. After I say something like, like, okay, the guy is beating the girl. So say it after 5 minutes or 10 minutes when she is settled down in the date or instant date. So, what you find interesting about what you find interesting about that interaction, that makes you decide to come with me for this, coffee date with me. And then she says, for example, this, and then sometimes the girls say, like, and what about you? I say, you can say like, I don't know, you were a bit weird, but a bit awkward, but I did find you a
Okay.
bit cute. But I did find you a bit cute, so I thought, like, why not? So we are, again, you say, if I'm saying, oh, because you are so beautiful, or you are so for this, of course, then I'm putting her in pedestal. But we are playfully balancing it. You
Right. I
understand? We are
mean, I think
saying,
that line, yeah, I don't know. That line was a little off, but I think the idea, you shouldn't say, yes, you were so beautiful. Oh my God. I agree with that, of course. But what I would say would be something specific to her personality that stood out, right? Like that made her seem interesting. As
Yeah,
opposed to
like
something
yeah,
like,
these are like verbal.
I
So
think that was a
I'm
bit
trying
too
to
much of a push, button pushy.
make you understand the concept that
I understand the concept. I just the way
yeah,
you're
yeah,
going about it is
we are
very
not
forceful.
we are you can use the different wordings. So I'm just like, I'm not giving the completely like validation. So I will take a bit
The
and
wording
give a bit.
matters. Like,
No,
I
no,
mean,
yeah,
there'll be
but
times
I'm
if I'm with a girl, I'll use this same thing, but it very like I'll say, "Why do you love me so much?" But it's when it's going like when it's at a high point, right? And that's like a very simple one-liner, and then I'll say it when I know she's going to buy into it, right? But that's
exactly. So
very
that's
it's a lot less effortful.
yeah, that is something also I do. So that you are also do this something like this.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying
So
all your lines are bad, but some of these are just too much. It's too crafted.
but if the system is working, then
Well, how do
that's
you
the main
judge? I
thing.
mean, look, it's very hard to judge
Judge
success
by the
rates, right?
results.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
judge by the
it's
results.
very hard to do split tests is the problem, right?
I
Like
mean,
doing this 100 times. I actually
I
want to make
have, I
infields
have,
doing this, but
I, yeah, but like I can make any infield, like, if you want to prove someone something wrong, then you can always do in a way that the line will not work. And if
I
you
could
want
get
to
infield
prove
doing
something
everything
right,
wrong on purpose where I actually did this before.
yeah,
So
exactly,
sometimes I'll get
yeah. So
infield where intentionally I use a really bad vocal tonality to show the difference between good and bad, right? So I'll go up like, "Hey, what's up? How's it going?" And then
yeah.
1 out of 10 times though it works. And the girl still, she just like, she was
So if
ovulating,
you,
she's
so for
horny,
example,
whatever,
if you
right?
want,
I'm her type.
so if you want to make my lines prove wrong, you go and you can always say the lines at the wrong time with the wrong tonality or anything, and you can prove it wrong that
Well, that's
look,
part of my point.
this line, these lines are not working. So the point is like you're saying that
I can make
if it
it
is
look like
working or not
anything
working.
works. And if I just show the examples where it works, because you can do tons of things wrong and
Yeah,
you'll still get
yeah.
some,
So
and you don't
that's
know how
why.
many of the bad ones I didn't show, right? I could do 100 approaches where I say, "Hey, would you like to have sex?" and just show the like two where it worked. And then it
So
looks like, oh,
that's
that's a good opener, right? But that doesn't really prove that it's a good opener. So
so
it's
that's
about
why.
like
But
the percentage, the
hmm.
success rate, which is
So
hard to know.
yeah, so that's why like it is like, for example, uh, when I came to like when I started to work as a dating coach, I always have this issue that convincing uh, the people to get to my coaching or what I teach.
Hmm.
And I really believe that I mean, not believe, I have proved it by myself, teach a lot of guys at that time. And but building that kind of buy-in, a Western guy is having, as
Hmm.
an Indian guy teaching in the West, it was very, very tough. So I came up with the idea that I have to show the proof. And from the very start, from 2013, I the only reason I am surviving in this community as an Indian guy, without any status, any social circle, just pure, like, whatever you have in front,
I feel
what
like
you see me.
splitting yourself off from Justin Mark there, but
Um,
you said without
I
social
mean, like
circle and status.
Luke, there was like other guys also, RSD Luke. I usually do not talk about negative thing about Indian people, Indian guys,
RC
as
Luke's
long
not
as they are
Indian.
not, no, no, as long as they are not doing any anti-Indian or anti-Indian thing. So what I'm saying is that so for me to in the start also, like, showing proof, I have to show proof.
Sure.
And the whole my whole system, my whole existence is based on proof. Because, for example, if you are saying something, this is, we have tested, I have seen, like, you or maybe like other guys, you are like, when you started your dating career, like as a dating coach, when you came in the
Hmm.
industry,
Oh, like 5 years.
2017, 18,
Yeah.
5 years. So in the
No, more
start,
than that, but 6 or 7.
so like so like 2020, or maybe like
I think my channel
2018.
started 2018.
18. So you
Yeah.
18, and I was like 14. So at that time, like there are like a lot of guys from UK. I had a lot of beef at that time, like Britishers, and it
Yeah,
was
London day game
for
model.
to London LDM and all. So for to prove myself, I have to show the infields, and for them they don't need to show anything. They just show some, oh, I was there and I was there, and then I met a uh, Paris model look-alike, and I, boom boom her, or
Boom
and
boomed her.
she was,
But yeah, I know what
yeah.
you're saying.
So
Anyone
what
can
I'm
say
saying is that
anything.
people were believing it.
Well, look,
They were
I
just
respect
writing.
that you have infield, and anyone who has infield, it to me is a tier above the people who don't. I mean, that was my last debate. Was what's that guy's name? Something Wayne
Locario. No.
Locario, Mr. Locario. Yeah,
Mhm.
and he has no infield, and I think that to some degree, like you should question why, right? Like if you actually have the skill, it's great for marketing, it's great for getting views. It makes people believe that you're more legit. So why wouldn't you do that unless your game actually sucks, right? Or you have some ethical reason, but you can always ask for permission and whatever. So I'd say it's
Just
a
one.
big red
Let me
flag.
finish.
It's like a personal
Yeah.
trainer who won't show his physique and he only does audio, right?
So not only I have to show the infield, I have to show the infield till the apartment, and not only that, I have to show my student success, and not just like my student were expecting, not like just like, oh, we just like number or something. I have to show the real success that students are taking the girls, getting success, and that I have
Well, there's
shown
things you can only
completely.
show so much. I mean, that's what got
Yeah, of
that's
course, of
gotten
course.
people in trouble.
So yeah. So I, for example, in my product dating infields domination, so you will see my infield, but the white separates from the rest of the world, any other dating coach in this entire world. You will see my student infield. You will see their verbals, like how you will see that how they are struggling, but how they're slowly moving
Hmm.
forward and taking, getting the success, taking girl home or something like that. You are not going to see something like this anywhere in this entire world from any other dating coach. I have to do this thing because that's the only way for me to survive in this community. And that's why I was having issue with this guy, UMP guy, that scammer, that he has no game, and he is saying this, BS
I mean, he is
authority,
infield.
sexual
Why do
authority.
you think he has no game and he's a
Yeah,
scammer?
he has no, because a lot of Indian guys are going to him, and
Sure,
they are not having that looks level.
sure.
If you are showing an authority, like for example, he's saying that if you show the sexual authority,
Hmm.
then the girl will find it attractive. But to
Like you
sexual
pull out a
authority,
magic wand and like
to
this will
but
make you
to
come four
work,
times.
to get the sexual authority to work,
Uh-huh.
you have to have a very good looks threshold. We have
I think you
tested
have to
it
have
in
a
the
high
field.
buying temperature. So if
Good
your
looks threshold, yeah.
looks aren't
Just
as high, they have to be bought in enough, but you can still do it eventually. Like you
and
can do it
like,
longer in the interaction, just not like right on the
let's
open unless they're very receptive.
let's go more technical. I went more technical. When he says, for example, that you are not supposed to touch the girl because touching breaks the sexual tension, he
Well, I
was
disagree with
saying.
that.
So the why he said that, why he said that? This is very important because nobody has questioned this thing. I'm like opening, I'm again challenging him,
Sure.
because when you are an authority, then if you do something that question your authority, imagine if I say, like, I'm a, authority in this thing, and I touch the girl, and if the touching goes wrong, then the frame will break. If he is a sexual authority, then everything need to be perfect, and that's why they avoid touching. But to build attraction, you need kino escalation, you need touching. The girls are
Well, I wouldn't agree with that. I
kinesthetic.
disagree with both of you on that. I mean,
Yeah.
touching, I think
So
it depends
touch,
on the environment, how much you need it. So in day game
I mean,
touching,
in
you need less. and you can overdo it. Like I see a lot of guys, they're too touchy in day game and they make the girl uncomfortable. So you have to be careful about that. In
You
night
have
game,
to
you
have
definitely need
the
to be more
you have
physical.
to you have to have the right kind of touching. If you are doing sexual touching, you can even go get away with sexual touching, but it should be more emotional, romantical kind of touching,
Yeah,
and
I'm not
that is
saying you can't,
definitely.
but it's higher
Uh,
risk.
I was in New York and I able to make the guys to literally hold the girl hand and everything. It is definitely possible in USA,
Yeah, I've
UK. I have done
multiple
it,
pull
and
infields with
and
holding the girl's
I have
hand, stuff like
I
that on day
yeah,
game.
I
Sure.
have done in the daytime. So if you are doing,
But there's a risk.
if you have to, if you have to build the right emotionality in the girl, that the girl likes you, you have to touch. If you are just taking the girl number without any kind of intimacy happen between you and the girl, no matter day game or night game, the number is it's going to be very tough
Okay,
for the
so
girl to
yeah,
meet you.
I definitely don't fully agree with you on this. So when it comes to touching in day game, I see a lot of guys will do it, where they feel that if they touch, then it's like the attraction's there, and then they've checked off the checkbox, and they kind of like try to make it happen. They force it in, and it's just kind of awkward and off, and then they lose. Like it just comes across too pushy. It comes across a little weird. Some girls are fine with it, some aren't, and it depends how receptive she is. But feeling that you need to touch. There's been plenty of girls that I pulled where I didn't like, especially in day game. I even have infield of this where there's a girl we didn't touch at all until she's like, okay, I'll go back to your hotel room or whatever, right? No touching until then. And there's been plenty I've pulled and plenty of clients have pulled where they don't even touch the girl at all in a day game interaction. So is it something you can do in an approach that can benefit you? Yes, but there's also a risk, and you don't want to like feel I have to touch her. It's never going to happen. You don't want to be paranoid about that because it's not like you have to touch. You can build sexual attraction plenty of other ways. The eye contact alone, I've had girls literally say they wanted to have sex with me just from eye contact, no touching.
Now again, it depends on the looks level. I don't want to like go on this kind of race and all the stuff. I explain you in this way.
So I'm
So
not,
when I
but
started,
I'll agree that's a factor, sure.
I explain you. So when I was starting the game, I was always in the old days. So I have like a lot of like German friends, and we were like going out. So whatever they do, and I was always thinking like, oh my goodness, like they have really good game. They just talk, and the girl is completely into them. They just
German
talk to the
guys with
girl
good
without.
game, that's that's not too
No,
common in my
no,
experience.
we're talking about like 2012,
Okay.
11, 12 around. So, and then I said like, oh, wow, this guy has a good game. And I do the same thing. It was never working for me. And I was so much like frustrated with this thing, like talking, and nothing was working. And in 2013, for example, uh, I was watching some guy in USA. Now he's not he's out of dating. He
Hmm.
was in the old days. He was very much famous, and I noticed one thing that this touching, he was doing this touching thing, and and then I start to implement this touching. So first time I had this experience, I was in a like grocery store, and I was practicing this kind of touching thing, and. There was like a model looking German girl, and
Hmm.
I knew that that these kind of girls are, they will never even write me. Even if they give me number, they will never ever interested in like you know um, meeting me or flake.
Hmm. Sure.
So I did this thing. I hold the girl hand. Just it was a risky move because I was still developing my style. I hold the girl hand, and luckily it worked. And then I noticed that she was like looking at me, and she was like, and then I I wrote her message, and then she replied me, and then I said like I said to my friend, dude, like she is replying me is a success because these kind of girls never reply me back. And then we decided to meet. She was like on the last time she flaked, I was like but we always like planning to meet.
Hmm.
Then the same thing I did with other girls, like all the girls who were, I was thinking in my mind that they are like out of the league in such a way that they never even reply me back. Even if I get the number, then they won't reply me back. And all these girls were replying me, and I said to myself like I am doing the right thing, bringing the physicality was definitely bringing my game to the next level. And then from there I made it smooth and smooth and smooth in such a way that almost 95% of my interaction I always like holding the girl hand. It is like, it is so smooth that it never happens. I can do it any part of the world, it always works. It is USA or it is in Sweden. I was in Sweden, it is in Sweden, or it is anywhere in the world. The way you build that kind of vibe, and then later you hold the girl hand, it always work. I have built the system, I can make it to work, because I have to build that kind of intimacy in that girl. I have to introduce the touching. Otherwise it is going to be the same thing. I just take her number and she's not going to come. And this touching breaks that barrier. And it was, I did it like in 2000, we're talking about 2013, and from there it became, now like I'm teaching, it's way smoother. Of
Sure. I
course,
mean,
like
touching can work, but
mhm.
point is you're giving a couple examples. I touched the girl and then she ended up going on the date or whatever. Yeah, but I could also give plenty of examples. I didn't touch the girl, or my client didn't touch the girl and they got on a date. So to really like prove that touching is like necessary or important, you'd have to like I actually kind of want to make a
If
series
the
of
girl is
videos where I
into
do
you,
this, where you do like
if the girl
100
is
with touching
physically
and
into
100
you,
without, and compare, right? And see which one leads to more successes.
if the girl is physically into you, if the face value, what you are saying, if the girl find you attractive for whatever reason, then maybe it is not required. If she is into you, of course, like I see a lot of Instagram guys making videos in these
That's,
days
I mean, I'd
with
say
this
that's when I
POV
am more
camera.
physical, is when once you see they're into you is when you know you can get away with it and it's moving things forward. If they're not giving you much, then you're touchy. That's when it causes problems and they get like uncomfortable.
So what you are saying is also correct in a way, that these German guys were not touching the way I was touching, but they were
Sure.
still getting date. They were still getting date because they were having that same stereotype, kind of like, girls like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, but
And
it's also,
for
are you
me to
funny? Are you saying cringy lines that make them uncomfortable? Are you getting them to invest? Are you, like the
no,
vibe you
try to
have? There's so many
try,
factors.
please try to understand what I'm saying here, that these guys were getting the same kind of effect, same result. The girls were coming to date with them, these
Sure.
guys.
Yes, I understand that.
And for me, I have to put 2 3 levels more of game to get the same level of result. Or now, I mean,
I'm not
this.
arguing that part.
So
I think if
so
you're,
what
yeah,
I'm
if you're
saying is
Indian and
that
if you're worse
if
looking or
so
whatever, there's a
so what I'm
difference. Yeah.
saying is that in your situation, for example, it can happen, the girl is into you, and then you don't need that part, that touching thing and all, because the girl is into you.
Well, yeah, but I have clients
That get.
every other
Mhm,
weekend or every weekend sometimes. So I'm
mhm.
seeing every ethnicity. I'm seeing bald guy. I see what happens and plays out. I'm not saying what works for me. I'm saying what works for tons of different people. And so being touchy, I'm not against it. Like in a nightclub, you need to be physical. In a nightclub, if you're not physical at all, then you are much more likely to get a flake. And it is a
Ye-
bad idea not to be physical generally, because there's more stimulus and it's more appropriate to the environment. But in day game, uh, tons of times when a guy is too physical and touchy, like I know a guy who would like touch girls' shoulders like on the open, and this guy pulled. He actually did pull some, but he would also make some girls run away right away because he freaked them out and made them afraid, right? So the problem is, I think it does more harm than good, being feeling like you need, especially in the day, to like always be touchy, because it's very easy to do it in an uncalibrated way that's pressury, puts pressure. And whenever a girl
so
feels
that's what I
pressure and uncomfortable, like unsafe, basically, like then they close off, and you don't want to
so
close them off.
that's what I teach also. That's what I teach is, like, how to do it in a calibrated way. If, for example, in a coaching, some guy is coming and I see that there is no opportunity for him to touch in 30 minutes, then I will not tell him to touch the girl, because I can see from the far away the girl is not yet comfortable, and he has not built that kind of vibe with the girl, so that we do not, I will not let him touch the girl for 30 minutes or even 1 hour. So that is where the real game
But it's going to take him it's
when
going to take him time to know when to do that, when not to. And in the day, you want to play it like very high risk being touchy and not being touchy. You can still get dates, like plenty of your numbers will still convert. Like it's not based on, the main thing isn't whether you touched her shoulder or not. The main thing is like, did she think you were interesting? Did she like your appearance as part of it? For sure. Were you was the conversation one that made her like play it again in her head, where she's like, that was a really interesting conversation, that guy was really interesting? Or is it kind of weird and pushy? Like there's all these other factors, right? Your vocal tonality, your
so
eye contact. Touch is
so
just one thing, and it's very risky if you do it wrong.
okay, let me explain you in this way. So this is what I've seen, what guys bring the best result and the best confidence. So if I do my coaching in such a way that go to the girl, get the number, get the Instagram, 2-3 minutes of conversation, have some fun conversation, and move on, and just do the repeat the same process. This is not the best way to teach the game. So what I tell the
Well, why
guys
is
in the
that?
start, so what I tell the guys, we have to learn to approach the girl and try to push the interaction to sex, and let's see how far we can go.
Sure, I
If
don't disagree.
no matter it's day game or night game, we are not supposed to get the girl number. In some situation we have to ban there, logistically it is not like possible. So because the guy is experiencing the full, for example, 1 hour or 30 minutes of having that interact, like dealing with this girl, and the long interaction, that brings them more confidence rather than 2-3 minutes of
Okay, but when do you have them start
getting the
being
number.
physical? Because I agree. You
Yeah,
should be
again,
seeing their
case
logistics, and if they're open to an
case
instant date, then you want to be touchy on the date, sure. But like
case
before
by
the date,
case
it can be weird.
case by case basis. If I see the guys, like a lot of things are not right with this guy, he's scared, he is having some other issues, so I will not tell him to touch even after 30 minutes or 1 hour. There's a one interaction in for example, there's a one interaction on the second one of dating infield domination, where a guy approached the girl, and after I think 3 hours, 2.5 hours, I told him, now it's time to put your hand on the girl thigh. And you can see that he's like doing like this. I said, like, be alpha, like, in here, be alpha, touch it properly. And he took the girl home later, because I see this is the right situation now. But it took maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. The infield is like 4.5 hours long, complete from start till the end.
And that is a
So
long pull.
yeah, but this way he has learned much more, rather than I'm just teaching him 2 minutes of interaction, and in 4 hours maybe 50 girls of 2 minutes of interaction, rather than one girl of 4 hour interaction. He is
But
learning
that cuts
way
both
more.
ways. So yes, I teach clients, I'm always pulling is the first option, right? That's the first option that you want to screen if it's possible. So there's specific things I have them say, like to find out if they're available and to find out if they're receptive enough that they should commit to it, right? But also it's very common for guys to get in interactions with girls that are going nowhere, and then they waste like an hour and an hour and a half with that girl, and that is not an efficient way to learn. That's a big problem a lot of guys have.
Yeah,
So
that's a
you
good
have to
question.
be very proactive about
Yeah,
screening to how receptive
yeah,
they are and if it's
that's a
going
good
anywhere.
argument. That
Like it's a big mistake. So you got to be very careful to make sure people listening, like they're aware that that's not always the case. Like a lot of girls, you want to just move on and not spend 20 minutes because they're not receptive enough, or
Okay,
four
so this
hours or
is
whatever.
how we deal with this situation. How we deal with this situation. This happens. That's 100% a point. What you are saying. So
Mhm.
there's a on let me yeah on month 21 of this product, there is a one infield of the Asian
21
guys.
months.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
interesting.
the even like anyway. So there's an infield of a guy. I mean, now you can get like if somebody wants, then he can get a jump start of all months together. So anyway, so in New York, what happened was the girl was completely not into him, and we are trying whatever we do. She was not even giving him hand and everything. So
Right.
I said like, let's burn it now. Let's burn it. And she asked like, I asked like what are hobbies and all. So she said like this, and she said like, what is your hobby? So I said like, just say this and sex. So he said like
Okay.
this and sex. And then I said like, don't say anything. And then she said, what what you said. And we convert that. We tried, if she would be like freaked out or something, she will just leave. And what happened, he ended up taking this girl home. And that's like a very, like, this was the girl who said that if you would be on Tinder, I would be swipe left. She said it.
Sure.
It is in the camera. You will see in the verbals.
I mean,
I
I
will swipe
believe that
left.
happens. I just think
I only date
it's not
European
common.
guys
It's
and all
the
this.
opposite's
Like,
more common.
yeah. So we converted it. So we have to push it in a way that, okay, we will not waste time. Let's take some like bold moves, and let's see how it goes. If the girl is, we will always stay polite. If the girl, like, want to change her decision, it can work. If not, then we just leave.
Okay.
So there are some just to finish, there are some
Sure.
situation where I see that the guy is not able to push it. It is completely platonic, and we already spent like 30 minutes, or we like 10 minutes, and I say like, it's not gonna work. I just say like, just leave it. Just leave it completely. Get out. Let's do the something else. So
Sure.
that's, I decide from the vibe that, okay, it is not going to work. And I tell the guys that, then I tell him what was the reason. Because he said like, why you're letting me to leave this girl. So I tell him that these are the reason. If you see these signs, means that you are just wasting your time. So I teach
Right.
the guys that in which situation you should leave.
Right. I think the best metaphor, that the way I look at it, is poker. So with poker, if you get a bad hand, I'm not a big poker guy, but I think like 3 and 7 or something is like the worst hand. Um, and you keep doubling down on that hand, there is a chance you win, right? There's still a chance, even with a really bad hand, you could end up winning. It's possible, it happens, but it's not very likely, right? So the chances are you're going to end up losing, wasting your time, whatever. So that's like that scenario that happens sometimes, and there will be the occasional like false positive or whatever where doing something that probably wasn't going to work works. But usually, if you have like signs of non-receptiveness, we probably have, maybe we have different ways of telling, but we have ways of telling the guy when to keep going, when not to. It's important to be aware that it's very easy to spend too long in an interaction that's going nowhere. And then a lot of guys will do the opposite too, though, right? Where they get aces, pocket aces, and then they just go for the number when they could have pulled. And you don't want to do that either. And I think one of our biggest jobs as a coach is teaching guys how to detect which one and when to stay in and when not to. But I think staying in too long is very common.
Too long, yeah. As long as as long as the girl is receptive, the girl is, if the girl receptive to your touch, if she is complying, if she is complying to your physical leading, that
Mhm.
is a good sign. If she is receptive to
Yep.
your touch, that's like a big sign, big positive sign. If she is receptive to your touch, physical touch, or at least receptive to your verbal escalation, that's a good sign. You can stay. And physical is definitely like give you much better, like clear signal that,
Mhm.
okay, maybe we have to wait a bit till she's ready, or she is physically moving with you to a certain location, for example, to bar A, bar B, or cafe A, cafe
Right.
B.
So,
And from
mhm.
there, she is moving to, for example, to your apartment. So I give you one example about this. Like, so I met a girl, and she was definitely receptive to the verbal escalation, but not physical escalation.
Mhm.
So I said, okay, what should I do? She enjoying talking to me. So I say, okay, let's make the move. And I just take the girl, and maybe we will bang there. So I took the girl, and on the gate, she said like, I will not come home with you, today. I said, okay, no problem. And I said, okay, then take care, bye. So she came again next day. Next time she came again, and the same thing. Uh, I was not interested in investing in her too much. I just wanted to bang. So I did the same thing. We talk. We met in the bar. We talk, and then take her to my apartment gate. She said, like, I will not come home to you, and I'm not that kind of girl. Okay, take care. Bye. So and then I said, like, if we meet again, I will do this. I will do the same thing if we meet again. Next third time if we meet, I will do the same thing. So you decide if you want to meet or not meet. So then she never came to meet me on the third date, actually. So we met two times, and I said, like, this is the maximum I can do with her. I'm not interested in wasting my time. If she's not like banging me, then if I meet on the third day, I will do the same thing. I will try to take her home. I'm not interested in anything else more than that. So sometimes I set kind of these kind of lines. These are like slightly extreme example. She wanted to meet me, but I was not interested in, like, having relation with this girl. I was not interested in anything. I just wanted to bang, and that was my, like, what we say, my border. That this is the maximum I will do. And it happened like this on the approach time. I also did, actually. I approach time also did. Then day two, and then second date also. Date one, date two. So three times I tried to pull her to my place. It never happened. And I said, if you are coming the fourth, the next time if you meet, I will do the same thing. And then, okay, take care, bye. We never met. So sometimes I do something like this also. Makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, that's we've all made mistakes and invested in the wrong girl. It's just you want to do it as little as possible. And so a lot of guys who are new to game, well, first of all, 90% of them don't even approach, right? Most of the people, you've done the survey. A lot of guys, they maybe approach like 1 to 3 approaches. What's the average? It's like less than half approach, right? So it's really bad. And then the guys who do approach, they just make these little seemingly small mistakes that can kill all your results, which one is not leading enough, not actually moving it forward. They just never invite a girl home ever, right? And that's probably the majority. They just don't, there's opportunities, but they miss them, right? But then the other ones
63%.
have approached.
63% on average 2024.
Okay, but like you have different numbers, right? Because one is not that great if it's one approach.
Yeah, the baseline for how this was defined was at least 3 women within 1 month.
Okay.
I
Well,
just
I
come in. I
mean,
just
it could
come
be
in
worse.
I just come in 2 minutes.
Could be worse. Are there any, because we're on Zoom, so I can't see the comments.
All right, let's see.
If there's any questions.
I went to go watch some of Deepak's Infields. It's different, but respect. It seems to work for him. Pickup cold approach should work in India. The rest is basically jokes about John Anthony lifestyle.
Okay.
The pickup lines he could say that would be absolutely bullshit, basically. That has been half the chat so far.
It's about John?
Just making jokes, yeah. We got a funny
No,
chat
I'm
today.
kind of sad he's gone because he was the most popular trans positive. Like, it's not a very, for whatever reason, pickup is very conservative leaning, right? So it was nice to have someone who's so openly extreme left, so supporting of the trans community in many different ways, in a receiving and giving way, So it's kind of sad that we lost that.
Yeah, real shame. Too bad.
Yeah, but I think someone, a fan maybe, or maybe it's him. He's got a new channel, right? That's like all his best highlighting content of like his high moments, some really good stuff. It's got
Oh
like 50
yeah,
subs or something, but when you look up his name, it's like the first thing that comes up now because his
it's
second channel is also gone, very sadly. So there's someone else, a fan, I think, posted his best content.
some of the highlights, because after all, he was #1 in the world.
You're talking about John Anthony or what?
Yeah. Yeah, #1.
Okay.
#1 trans positive dating coach.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah. So so it was interesting what you talk about, like old school pickup. I think the problem with the old school pickup was that
That's how I
it was
started,
too
by the
much.
way.
Yeah, so it was all based on routine, and there was no inner game,
I
that
think your internet
core.
might have switched to your phone or something because it was good, but now it's lagging. I mean, the audio is
Okay.
fine, but it's like
In,
2
in the
frames a
meantime,
second.
in the meantime,
It's
I'll
good.
read something from the chat that came in. Now, check your connection.
Connection should be fine. Oh, fuck, man.
I'll just read something from the chat in the meantime. Hey, Game Global, you talk about being the Vatican archives. I literally have
I'm gonna take a
printouts
piss really
from
quick.
the early 2000s from almost every PUA layer. I'm assuming you mean layer. Ross Jeffries' patterns. I don't even know if RJ has. I have stuff from the sites that have long since disappeared. How would you change? Oh yeah. How would you change Deepak's game to make it more effective? How would you? Okay. I had the idea of making a video of John Anthony's clips every time he had to wrap up a video because he had a goal coming. A compilation. That is a good idea. That's pretty interesting. That could be studied. That could be studied. That's that's a good idea. I just got here. Is this that John Anthony guy's channel? What? Nah, he's fucking gone. Anyway,
So it is working. It is good.
as soon as you spoke, it just went perfect. So looks like you're good now.
Okay, that's good. So I don't know, like sometimes it happens. So yeah, I mean, like, so it is interesting conversation actually. I was thinking that he will be very aggressive on me, but he's like nice
He's a
guy.
very chill guy. Yeah, very
So,
civilized. I was like,
the other guy, like, I mean, this guy was like having zero game and like trying to be so arrogant. So, I mean, tell him that I'm challenging him to have a rematch. Tell Marcos that I'm openly challenging him for a rematch.
oh yeah,
Let's
he's
do it.
probably a bit busy, but let's see.
Yeah.
And
So,
I'm
Avery
still
is back
surprised you think he has
from.
zero game.
hmm?
I think that's a bit harsh.
So, yeah, he has to come and talk to me. So that's why. Anyway, so
The confidence in
so
that
mm, yeah,
it's a testament to the kind of stuff that you do, really.
I have grinded like very hard on the streets. I know how it, I have tested it and proved it also. So that's why I'm backing my confidence. So, so yeah, we're talking about the old school thing. The old
Hmm.
school thing. The issue with the old school, we're talking about, like Owen Cook when he was doing the mystery thing, Jeffy and all these guys. So they were following just a routine thing. Um, it did help. The inner game did help. The RSD thing, I will not say that RSD was completely like bad or something. It did
I think
help.
they were pretty
Honestly, it
good
did
way
help.
back in the day. If you
It
go
did,
back
yeah, it
2012,
did help.
14.
It did help in my inner game, definitely. But
Hmm.
the real inner game came when I started to hang out with, Arab guys,
Arab
were
guys.
like
Okay.
Arab guys. That's when because I was not feeling that entitled, with these girls, and I noticed that like, these guys, the way they see the girls, it was way different than the way I see the girls. And even I was hanging around with other guys, like German guys. They see the girls, so that helped me a lot. So so the best game is the having a solid inner game with a structured. We are not talking about like routine after routine, but having a following a structure that at at a point of interaction what you are doing exactly and what you have to do next. If the girl is not into you or not complying to you, then the problem is before the interaction and try to solve it. If the girl is not coming you for an, like, to move, like if physically she is not leaded by you, so the trust issue, so you have to build more trust. So the good game is, like, like having a solid inner game, keep calm, but following a structure, what you have, what you are, where are you in the interaction, and how you move the interaction, and if there is a problem, then how you solve the problem can be like a, logistical problem or objection handling, what we say, how you
Yeah.
solve these objections. So for example, sometimes the girl says, um I just give you one example. The girl, I don't like, I usually don't meet the guys like this on the street, if the so I come up with the idea, like,
I wouldn't say
we
that's
can
really
say
an
something.
objection. I mean, that's not necessarily a problem.
Yeah, so you can say you can solve it in a very various different ways. So I said to the girl, like, you can say something like this, that and you are like, I can understand that what you are saying, but I was also the same. I was my friend. I have a friend who was thinking the same way, that he will never ever able to meet someone on the street. But one time he was he was in Paris and going out, and after finishing the show, she was out, and then she met a guy on the street, and now they're having like 3 kids together. So she said the same thing, but now she is having, I'm just making a story so that
Sure.
on like a girl will listen to the story, and she
Look,
will
I don't think
slightly
that line's
open it.
bad. I think that line's fine.
That will slightly, we are not directly saying no, 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 it is like this, no, 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 it is like this, but she will slightly open to the idea, oh, it can happen. So we only we give girls like slight suggestions, so that whenever you are forcing a decision on the girl, then she will oppose it, but you're giving
No,
a
yeah, that one's
suggestive
good. Basically,
decision.
she's giving some degree of like an anti-slut defense kind of thing, right? So she's, if you, the old school mystery term, so she is basically saying, I'm not a slut who just meets any guy in the street and doesn't want to seem easy or low value, right? And so what you're doing makes sense. It's like romance is a possibility. It's not just for sex or hookup. Yeah, that's good. I don't think every line is bad. I think having a script is bad and memorizing too much is bad because you have to learn to be free flowing. And I think that's the most important skill in game. It's just the ability to be like, like a really good interviewer, like Conan O'Brien, where he can always think of something interesting to keep the conversation going, right? You want to be like that, but you still have some structure. I don't disagree. Like you have a structure where like, all right, you don't just let it fizzle out by talking to her in the same place like for 30 minutes. You make sure that you lead it. You find out her logistics, so there's structure to that. You find out how to deal with her friends, right? Like there's almost always friends that could potentially cock block, and the fridge, as we've seen like on tons of YouTube reel or Instagram reels, the fridge always is like, she doesn't want to talk to you. I've had girls say she doesn't want to talk to you when we're literally making out, and then the big friend is like tries to pull her away. So there's that. You want to know how to deal with that. You want to know how to seed the pull. How am I actually going to pull, right? But outside of that, it mostly you understand the principles, right? So you understand what emotion she's feeling and then where you want her to be, right? So if she's like being receptive, then you know what to do. And if she's like giving you a little bit of iciness, you know how to like not be pushy and not make her uncomfortable and get her to start chasing you a little bit. But it's mostly just understanding where she's at and how to move her in the right direction, not memorizing a bunch of lines, not saying this is going to make her attracted, because that any line that's like supposed to build attraction usually backfires. There's some exceptions, but I think it's generally a bad idea.
I mean, I respectfully disagree with this thing that you are saying that any line that builds attraction, if it is said at the right time with the right emotion, it
Well, I didn't say any,
usually
but
works.
most.
Um,
I'm not saying a
I mean,
line can't
like,
build attraction. I'm saying that scripted, memorized lines that you use is like, I'd say that rarely works.
so sometimes, why we use lines, you have to understand why we use line. So it is not the girl's responsibility for example, you met the girl on the street. It
Hmm.
is not a natural way. how meet people. Natural way is like, for
People
example,
used to do it quite a
meeting.
bit. I think
Yeah,
that's how two of
but
my grandparents
normally,
met.
normally people do not meet this way on the streets. Like, we are talking about norms. So now we have a 30 minutes of time, half an hour of time, 1 hour of time. So we have to do some specific things so that in half an hour we able to build that intimacy with the girl. Otherwise, we will never able to meet this girl again. So in that half an hour time, we have to follow a specific structure so that we are hoping that some intimacy will happen by the end of 30 minutes or by the end of instant date. And then when she's into me or into the student or the guy, then she is more likely to come to meet him in the date. Or if the logistics are there, then she will go home with him.
Mhm.
So that's why in half an hour we have to do some specific steps, some putting some checkpoints. So you are doing the improvised conversation, but you have to understand that girl is not going to lead the interaction into man to woman. It is the guy's duty to lead that
Yeah, like 90,
interaction into
95% of the
man
time.
to
Yeah.
95% of time. So in 30 minutes, how to do it consistently, you have to follow a specific step. Because if you just free flow conversation with the girl, and maybe you are not that, you are some guys just average looking guy, so it is not going to go in that direction. And he is just in 30 minutes he just took her number, and the girl will never come to even meet him, or the girl will even reject him within 10 minutes. So that's why we have, like, whatever the time we have, we start to follow the structure. Okay, this much time she may have, and then we just, okay, this checkpoint, this checkpoint, this checkpoint, this checkpoint. Now we try to go for the handhold or something. If
I think
not,
that's
then
where
maybe
people
some
get too
other kind of.
robotic usually when they think too
No,
many. Like there's a couple things, but like there's not like a bunch of things that you have to run through. You
no,
just have to
no.
lead and make sure it's
You
sexual and
once
flirtatious and not a bunch of
once you are good in that structure, once you understand the structure, you are just doing it um, on that what we say subconscious level. You don't need to think about it. Once you get the
unconscious competence.
structure,
Yeah.
unconscious, so you're doing it without even thinking about it. So uh, about like there is a one guy who came in the boot camp, and he came last year also, and he is also in the group of this UMP guys. And he said to me this, anyway, so I teach him this structure, and he did boot camp also this year.
Mhm.
And so last year when we did boot camp, it was like he understood, he like force like teaching him the structure, the verbals, and then he got really good results. And then this year he came again, and then he said like, what we are going to do this year. I said like, we will doing the same structure, but we are focusing on the sub communication, the emotionality, how you make it more smooth and more fluid. And this year he got even better results compared to the last year. And so once you get the structure, once you understand the structure, then you still learn the game, you make it more smoother and smoother. So he now, for example, wherever he is living, so he said that he followed the same thing, and he's not thinking about the structure. He just do these things,
Yeah.
take the girl home, and then or something like this. So he has like getting like great, like really good success wherever he is living. And so what I'm saying is that in the start, uh, if when you're playing a guitar, when you're learning swimming, you're following some specific structure. You're just not dive in the water and do like this. Oh, let's free flow, natural game. I will learn to swim. The coach will teach you this is the first step you have to do. But once you get smooth and smooth, you are
I mean,
like
the difference is that you're not. it's with a different person who's reacting to you. So that makes it's very different than an inanimate object where there's not
That's
different
why.
scenarios always coming up that you have to react to. And you can't memorize there's a limit to what you can memorize. And you're going to run out of script eventually. But generally so the big problem I have with scripting, and by the way, I got to leave in like 10, 15 minutes. I'm meeting a girl for a date. Here's just so you know, I'm not making it
Hmm.
up.
Hmm.
Um, so I have to leave. But what I would say is the most effective method of game is if you can get yourself to where you get out of your own way. So and you do need to know how to lead and how to pull. There's some things you need to know, but most of it is getting out of your own way to where you're not overthinking. And that voice in your head that's like, she's not going to like me, or what if I say this? Like, there's no breaks. Like, if you know the comedian Timmy No Breaks, you want to be like him. You got no breaks. It's all gas, right? You're not overthinking. You're just going. And so, are you familiar with Daniel Kahneman, his book, Thinking Fast and Slow?
No.
Okay, well, it was a Nobel Prize winning economics book, but it's really about psychology, and it's about system one and system two. And so system one and system two are the two general areas of your brain that can be active at any given time. And one of them is very dumb. It's very slow. It overthinks. It's ineffective, inefficient, basically. So if you're using a script, you're basically using the part of your brain where you're getting logical and you're thinking, right? You're more in your thinking part of your brain. And what you want to do is turn that off. Turn the voice in your head off, basically. Like, you'll notice your best conversationally when that voice in your head, it goes silent. It stops thinking, you just do, right? And so it's literally, there's a lot of science backing this up. It's called being in a flow state. So I'm sure you've heard of the
Yeah.
idea of a flow state, right? So
So
once you're in a flow state, you do not have a lot of the problems you would otherwise, and you're about 10 times as smart. You're more charismatic. You're more witty. And what you want to learn how to do is to consistently be that way to where you're not overthinking, not self-judging. And so that's not so much about knowing what to say. It's about not being paralyzed by stress, anxiety, insecurities, and all those kinds of things. And I would say that's more important. And that's what women respond to most of all. Because I know, like, I'm sure you've had nights where you're in a really bad mood and girls just like want nothing to do with you. If you're just like, especially back in the day, probably happens less now, but there'd be days when every girl's like, fuck off, even though you said the same thing. You say the same thing another night when you're just feeling it, right? You feel like I'm the shit. Then 9 out of the 10 girls are super receptive. And even the ones that are like, I have a boyfriend, you still feel like you could pull them, right? So I think that's more important. And I agree, you should have a few lines here and there, a bit of structure, but I think 80% of it is about getting out of your own way and having good sub communications, good energy, and all those kinds of things.
I mean, I partially agree with that. Inner game, good energy, everything is what you're saying is right. But again, the script, I do not agree with the structured scripts thing, because hello, how are you? This is also a script. Something like this. Maybe your parents teach you,
Well, I didn't
but
say you should have zero script, just
so
not more than a few little
so
things.
everything what we do is like, if we are doing it in a routine. Hi, how are you? So these are like we can see we can I can
So
argue
I
that
get
these
what
are
you're
also a
saying.
script. We are these are also script. So what I'm saying is that once you understand the structure, you practice it. That's why we're not practicing on one girl, because we do mistake. That's why we approach different girls, and following that structure. And once you get a smooth, understand the structure, you get smooth in it, you will see the
All right.
results are coming.
I have an
That's
example
what I'm
that I think
saying.
clarifies my problem with structure. Is if someone tells you, "All right, make me laugh," right? Like, tell me something funny. There's a lot of pressure. You're gonna start getting a little awkward, and you're probably not gonna be able to do it. But anytime that you're say something that's super witty, super funny, super interesting, it happens automatically, right? It happens because you're not overthinking, not getting in your way. So basically, it's like two different gears, it's two different modes. And so, what guys do who are too logical, they're already almost always in that mode of overthinking and like having everything to be robotic and precise. And they need to be able to let go and have more fun and be free flowing more, right? And so, a
Yeah,
lot of
that
guys, if you teach them too much of a script and too much routines and too much, like they're just learning to double down on that. And I know this because this is what I did. I did mystery method and I didn't get laid at all when I started, not necessarily because of something wrong with the mystery method, but because I didn't have the ability to be free flowing. I wasn't confident. I didn't believe women would like me. So I used it as a shield to like keep the interactions going, but they went nowhere, right? They didn't lead to anything.
Yeah, I mean, like you are slightly maybe not able to understand. Like I do a very strong inner game also because without strong inner game, they will have problem in like even touching and all. So I do teach a very strong
I'd say
inner
they
game.
contradict to a degree. Having too much structure
No, no, no,
implies a
no, no,
lack
no,
of
no,
inner game.
no, no, no. Like it is like this is how you see like you are like strong inner game in a way that like you are entitled to that girl. Like I'm just giving it in a short form, but you still, but she don't know it, and you have to still follow a structure. It is the same
Mhm.
thing like geopolitics, so that you understand it. That USA think that they are entitled to anything what they want to do with any other country. Sometimes they use the
Damn right.
force like direct game, force, Libya, Iraq, but sometimes they play the indirect game, US, oh sorry, China,
This is
Russia,
not where I saw this
something
going,
like.
but all right.
So you understand. So what we are saying is that, but
And what's
the
Russia,
inner game.
semi-direct? Because we're sending weapons, but we're not actually.
Listen. So what I am saying is that the inner game the US is having the same for, they have to win. We are having the same inner game, but sometimes we use the strategy differently. That's what I'm saying. So it is about the right strategy at the for a particular girl. Sometimes the girl is into the guy. I will just say cut the chase, just take her to the date
Whip it
location,
out.
take her
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the.
yeah.
So I'm not following the structure all the time. Sometimes a very good looking guy come, and I'm not teaching him that, grind the girl because the girl is looking at him. Oh yeah. And then I say, just dude, like just take the girl to the date location, escalate, and take her home. Simple. So we cut the chase in this situation. So if the girl is not responding well in the start, sometimes the girl will not even invest. The girl will just stand there because that is not her stereotype. And then we have to
She might be
warm her.
Asian, Eastern European.
We have to warm her up. We have to warm her up. We have to take the all the responsibility,
Lubricate, if you will.
take the responsibility of this conversation, and in the context of this like day game scenario, and then when she's slightly opening, and then we move things forward. So that's what I teach. Sometimes the girl, norm in many situations, the girl don't talk, the girl just say like simple things. And if you're trying to ask too many questions or trying to like flirtatious thing, it is not going to work. You have to start with completely. Sometimes I have to tell the guys we have to start platonic and then move thing forward. Sometimes indirect game, we have to do the indirect game, and very slowly, sometime after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we show the intent. Because if we do it earlier, it's not going to work. So that it is not like a structure. We have to again aware of the situation. I
Well, yeah, I
teach
understand you
guys
adapt to the
how to be
situation.
aware of the situation, her emotions.
Not direct is not
But
always
the
what I
but the inner
recommend.
game is but the inner game is always there. Like you have to think, like again, like the USA thing, they have the strong inner game. If in one way they are entitled to whatever they want, but they use different strategies for different countries. And literally, when I understand the geopolitics, I said like this is actually happen in the game also,
Well,
and
the
I'm
US
more
would be the
convinced.
equivalent of like a 6'6", Chad, like extremely good looking because they have, so much power. So that metaphor, is there's a problem there
Yeah,
because
but
we
the
have
China
leverage.
and Russia will be the equivalent of like even high tier girl. So that's why he has to play a bit slightly indirect game.
Yeah. All right. I mean, that's not the metaphor I was expecting, but, um, and by the way, yeah, should probably head out soon. Is there any like comments that we should? I mean, I've enjoyed this. By the way, I'm not saying that I think you're the worst or you're terrible. There's some things we disagree about that I thought would be interesting to talk about.
It's always
Anyone who at least has infield, I put above the like Casey Zanders of the world, the Coach Corey Waynes, who like you know, they're good marketers and they're good at talking to a camera, so I'll give them that. But some of them, I'm pretty sure they've never had sex with a hot girl in their entire life, and you know, they're not. There's a reason they have no infield, you know, or no client testimonials either. That would be good too. If you show client evidence of their results, that counts a lot too, even if you don't have your own infield. But these kind of guys, they have neither, right? They don't go down either route. And so, I mean, we're both some of the. I don't. There's not many coaches who have like full infield pulls, hours of footage, all that. And I think we're two
Yeah,
of the few
definitely.
that do. I mean, there's some who have a little infield here and there of like a number, but that's not, you know, that's not much. So I want to bring that up. And yeah, if there's anything they want us to.
Yo, one thing, what would you change or suggest to change for Deepak to improve his game in your perspective?
um
I'm already on the God level. I'm already on the God level. What I should do?
So I haven't seen that much of his infield. I've seen some here and there. But yeah, the main thing would be the lines that are too button pushy is not using those and just being able to free flow more, because I think, you know, the other things, it's already there. But when you do that, you cause a rift when you do things that are too button pushy, right? So that would be my biggest thing. I would just not being button pushy and focusing on the charismatic energy, right? Because I think it's 80-20. Yes, you need some structure and know how to lead. That's the 20. The 80 is if you do anything with enough charisma, it'll do pretty well, right? Even
I mean,
Mystery said that in his book. It was one line, which is kind of like, it's like he has all these lines and all these things to memorize, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, if your vibe is really good, you can say pretty much anything and it'll work." And he didn't really go more into that, which is kind of funny. But I think it's important to be aware of that. So for you, if you're like teaching guys a lot of structure and some inner game, I think that's less effective than focusing more on the vibe, right? Which is outer game to an extent, right? Because there is like physical components. It's your eye contact, the emotions you project, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, like if I see it in a way that you know, the if the system is working, bringing results, then the system is good. If it is tested, if the system should be tested on the toughest difficulty level. If it is working in that toughest situation difficulty level, then it is the best system. And my system is tested on the toughest difficulty level. Even if I see like a lot of like, you know, white guys, they have, even if they have girlfriend, the looks level of these girls, I don't want to like, you know, go in that part, you know, personal attack, but it is not on that level, these guys.
I don't know. I see a lot of
And
pretty
some,
average
some
looking white dudes with
and,
really hot chicks. I
and
mean, the
some
opposite
guys,
happens too, for sure.
some dating coaches are even going like, you know, Latina, you
What's wrong
know,
with
like,
Latinas?
no,
Latinas are
it
great.
is like, you
I'm
know,
going on a
if you
date with
the
Latina right now.
if the if you see the hierarchy, so if a white guy is going for Latina, there is, you know, you
There's a
understand
problem
like
if you can
what
only
I want
get
to talk
Latinas,
about.
but there's nothing
So
wrong
if the
with
girl,
getting
so
Latinas.
there's nothing wrong, but for me, for example, I have even my girl, like, you know, I have like a German girl, and the looks level is way different. Indian guys, I mean, I don't want to show the picture, but it's way different looks level.
Sure.
So I have seen if the results are, if the results, I have the results and I bring the results to the student, and the system is tested on the toughest difficulty level, then sure, it is
Well, the
is the
question is the
best system.
percentages, right? Because you can get some results for some clients. The question is the percentage. One coach, it might be 5%. Another one, it might be 60%, you know, get success or whatever. So there's a lot of like the devil's in the details with that, right? Because it could be
So
very
who,
different
yeah,
based on how
of
often
course.
versus compared to me versus you or
So
versus
you're
John
right.
Anthony, whoever, right?
Yeah, right. That's why, like, you know, if you see, I show if I do not, I right now I'm working on the Hindi audience, parallel,
Sure.
completely parallel, making the system. But
I mean, that's going to be very
I
different if
have,
they're in India. The culture is very
yeah,
different.
so it's a very completely different system. But for English, I already have like a lot of boot camp documentary where I see like to show complete, like, from how I start, I teach the guys. And I really didn't see like from too many coaches that thing. And right now my team is working. We are preparing like 100 videos of this bootcamp documentary, maybe releasing next year or something like that. And plus, for example, whatever I said, like I talked about this guy, like who I did coach last year and this year. So every student I also video document. So I have the
Sure.
proof of the guys, uh, even like this today, 2025, that because if I say something, imagine like, I say like, oh, listen, I was in New York and I make the guy to boom boom the girl. The girl was waiting for her date in Washington D.C. Washington Park in New York, where the Todd also do the game. I saw him, and the girl was waiting for the date, and I
Yeah, I've
make my
seen Todd
student
like
to
8
take,
times.
and I take I make my student to take this girl and boom boom her in the apartment. Nobody will believe, and that's why the
I'm sure I feel
proof
about
is
boom boom,
there.
but I
Yeah,
get what you're saying.
yeah. So that's why I
Boom,
have
boom,
to,
boom,
maybe
boom.
maybe
I went.
so that's why I have to show the proof of the infield so that people literally believe. So
Sure.
that's why, that's what I'm saying is that, I partially do agree with what you're a lot of things what you're saying, but
Mhm.
that if the structure is, if you are like you do it repeatedly and it becomes smoother, then it is on the unconscious level. You do it, you don't even think about it. I don't even think about these things, and I
Well,
just do it on.
when you get to that
It's just
point,
like
it's a lot
saying
better.
hi, say hello, say
A lot of
hi,
guys don't
say
get
this
that far
thing.
though with scripts. That's the problem. Is they
uh,
never
uh,
get to the point where it's unconscious
that's
competence
why
because
I'm
they
that's why
suck
I'm
at first.
I also teach them like, improvised conversation also. It is not like completely structured. I'm not
Sure.
giving them routine after routine. I'm not giving them routine after routine. I do teach them like, improvised conversation. We do conversation drills, but I tell him at least we have to do these checkpoints, that we make it sure
Mhm.
that escalation
Yeah.
checkpoints are important so that the conversation goes in the right direction. If we are not having these checkpoints, then they just lost free flow conversation, and nothing gonna happen. Something
So,
like
okay,
this.
saying you have the worst, the hardest of the hard, having those people succeed, I agree. That's a good metric. It's an important metric. Um, but I could give an example. Like, I had a client who was a 38-year-old virgin. He was bald. Another dating coach told him that he's a 3 out of 10. And he was in good shape. He's like, even though you're in good shape, you're a 3 out of 10. It's not going to happen. He was 5'6", so not tall. And he was 38-year-old virgin, right? He took a boot camp, and then he didn't actually lose his virginity on the boot camp, but there were some things like when he approached a girl, his eyes were too open like this, right? So there were the adjustments that we made. He would be way too logical. He happened to be Indian, so he would like say, "Hey, want to go back to my hotel for sex?" Not a good line, obviously. Um, and there were a lot of little things I changed. And then he lost his virginity a couple weeks later. And then in the next 6 months, he went on to sleep. He took another boot camp, but he went to sleep with between 20 and 25 women. Right. And so that's an example of someone who obviously what I did worked. If the guy is uh, bald, 38-year-old virgin, he'd gone to other dating coaches. They didn't help. Right. That's if you other coaches couldn't help someone and you could, that's a very good sign that you're doing something right. Right.
One thing, like, one thing I would tell guys, like, any dating coach, if he is telling if a student is coming to the dating coach and the dating coach is saying your looks are bad, you are 3 out of 10, this is, you should never talk to, should never go to these dating coaches, because this is a very wrong. If somebody did some dating coach, even if the guy is not really good looking, if the guy is other race, I never say that, talk about the looks part or something. We do the best for the grooming part, but because if you are putting a number, like, you are like 3 or 2 or 5,
Mhm.
that will affect the whole boot camp, that will affect the
Yeah,
like
no,
his
I
inner
don't do that
game.
either. I
And
agree.
yeah, that's good. That's I we do agree both in this thing. Any dating coach is
You want
giving
them
a
to be more
label.
aware of their attractive qualities, not to think about how
E-
they're not good enough.
Even the
Which
guy
is why
says,
there's, are you familiar with the face rating people like Face IQ? I don't know much about his channel, but first of all, it's the gayest thing I've ever seen. An entire channel rating
Yeah.
men's attractiveness, like, but it's like more popular than pickup, right? Which is
yeah,
sad. because so many people, they think they're ugly because well, here's what most guys do today, right? They download Tinder, they take pictures like with bad lighting, like in there with the toothpaste mirror, they mean mug it, they do this look, bad lighting, they look like a serial killer or an incel, right? They look bad, and then they get no matches. And then they think, oh, I guess I'm just too ugly. Oh, look, this guy's rating faces and he's saying if you're below a 5 out of 10, that's the problem. Like, that makes a lot of sense. Now, he's never approached a girl in his life. He's anti-charismatic. He has a bad lifestyle, all these things. But it's so compelling to see something like that. Oh, it's not your fault. It's because your genetics are not good enough and you have the canthal tilt isn't right. But then you get caught up in that, and then your beliefs get so much worse and you don't even believe there's a point to try. And that's when you have people go down very dark paths and end up like, depressed in a very serious way and stuff like that. And I'm not saying looks don't matter. I've never said that. But whenever you fixate on something, it can destroy your confidence, right? It can destroy your belief that something's possible, and then you give up. And then if that 38-year-old virgin, or any client who was struggling or who was a virgin, they started watching that stuff, they probably die a fucking virgin, or just like have hookers or whatever. It's very sad.
For this thing, I will say
Sounds like a bunch of guys rating their gay attractiveness to other men.
So
yeah, it's very gay. There's a very gay element to it.
So in one way, I will explain in this way, like you should, any standard you are following, which is not helping you, you should not follow the standard. If, for example, like in my mind, I do not follow the standard that Indian guys on what level, because it is standard given by maybe the Western countries or Western standard that Indian guys are on that level. It is not helping me. So the what I have seen, like I have to, any guys, if any guys who is watching this thing, in any standard they say like you are on that level. If it is not helping you, you should not follow that standard. Discard that standard, make your own standard. In your mind, you are on the top. Simple as that. And that's why, like when these wheat waffles and all these guys are making this looks video and all, they are putting the one standard that this guy's on this level, this guy's on this level, and like an Asian guy can think that his looks are the best. Simple as that. Because in one of the debate, I said like you have to be deluded. So deluded is it means the deluded in the sense
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Because there is no other way. If you are already coming with a defeated mindset, oh, my looks are fucked up, my race is fucked up, then you are going to lose the battle. So
you're not even going to try, right? You're demotivated.
Yeah. So
you will lose by default.
So then the deluded, in that way, what I mean, that you have to be deluded, but you follow the right structure. That's what I'm saying. Again, USA is deluded that they're entitled to anything in this world, but they still follow a right structure dealing with different countries. So this is the best metaphor. Again, the religion also the same thing. To spread the religion in any country, they follow different strategies. But again, the entitlement is, you have to be there. The inner game, strong inner game is there. You need to be there. A bit deludedness is not harming you. I mean, this
if you're deluded that you're the most attractive man in the world and you just believe that, what are you going to do when you see a girl look at you? If you thought you were ugly and you saw a girl look at you, you'd think, oh, she's laughing at me, she thinks I'm ugly. If you think you're the best looking guy, you're going to think she's checking you out, and then you'll go talk to her. And some girl, maybe she won't, nothing will happen with her, but you would do that every time you saw a girl, right? Like I'm the most attractive guy in the world. It's going to go well. And eventually 10, 20 approaches, you're going to pull one who is hot and you're like, I actually am hot, right? So your belief will change. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You just have to be able to take rejection and not think it means something about you. That's like, how do you take rejection? If you think, oh, it's because I was Indian, or it's because I was Asian, or it's because I was short, that's one thing. Or you say it's because she was on her period, she's a lesbian, she just had a boyfriend, or she was intimidated by me, whatever. If you see it that way, then you still end up having a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
So yeah, the only thing, what I want to add in this thing, that deluded. So when you're deluded, when you say like you're entitled to this girl, then I just follow. The only problem is that like some guys try to follow this good-looking guy, like positive stereotype type kind of game, just go and just talk and stand. And that's where the problem is that like just because you think that you're entitled, it's just not like the girl will like you. Still, you have to play a right game. Just because USA say that
Well, you
we are
learn from
entitled to
what's happening,
anything,
the results you're getting, right?
we are entitled. They just not go to China like they went for Iraq or Libya or something like that. They have to have the following the right strategy to win the
Bro,
battle.
I had a guy
So
message
that's
me
the
saying he tried cold approach in Iraq. He's like, I was like, dude, what? He's like, yeah, you
Did you
said,
hear back from him?
it's like, why did you think that was a good idea? It's like, oh, well, it can work anywhere, right? It's like, Sharia law, bro. What are you doing? Like the cops came after him and he didn't go to jail or anything.
and
It's like,
Dubai it can work actually.
you do want to
Dubai
approach it differently in Iraq. Yeah, Dubai, sure, but that's a little different.
so that's what I'm saying, that you should always be you should always be realistic, but have a mindset that is invincible, but realistic who you are, where you are, and then follow according to that. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
you know that's how it is.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Deepak, is there anything you would suggest Avery needs to improve with his game?
I mean, I have not studied his game. I don't know exactly like
Oh, nothing. It's perfect.
so if it is perfect,
We
if it is
agree.
bringing results to you, if it is bringing results to you, it is bringing results to your student, then I respect that. I have nothing to add. And if he
If
is
it
happy,
brings in the
students are
boom
happy.
booms,
The boom
it's
boom,
all
Yeah,
yeah.
good.
if he is
Type of boom
happy, if
boom.
the students are happy, then I have no problem with that. I mean, I don't have any like I have the problem with these scammers, like guys like this. I am waiting for the second debate, second round,
AMP.
and yeah, so I have problem with these guys, these scammers, and but
I got a problem with people saying words like body count. It's like, I'm not a serial killer. We should use a boom boom count instead. It sounds way better.
yeah, so that's fine, like and good for him, and I think we both are agree in some ways,
Mhm.
and as a man we have some kind of disagreement in a respectable way, and that's fine.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, look, it might get more views when people just yell at each other the whole time, but I don't think that's really constructive or helpful to the audience. It's just drama at a certain point, right? I think it's better to see the logic of both sides and then make their own decision on what they get from each one, as opposed to just like, you're a piece of shit. No, you're a piece of shit. No, whatever.
No, I didn't
Um,
say, yeah, I mean.
but if this doesn't get many views, I'll start doing that. Uh,
Oh, please don't be the new guy who does that for a living.
someone's got to fill that gap, right?
There's a gap in the market now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, alrighty. Well, people were very appreciative in comments about how civilized this is being and genuine in its direction and philosophies and everything like that. Any final words?
No, if you want to see my infield, you want to see my content, go to a.g.hayden on YouTube, and you'll see me there.
Yeah. And
And
for me,
also,
like
you want them to go to a.g.hayden on YouTube? Sure.
okay, yeah, and for me, like I have relaunched the community. I'm like launching the community, realcoachdeepak.com. There they can find everything. There's a community I'm launching. So both English, this is for both international as well as for Hindi audience. So I'm migrating the whole system, the old system to this community, and there they can check everything. Realcoachdeepak.com. It's a community. I am just freshly like launching it, and they can have like direct communication with me even, and we have also live calls there. So it's a free community. Then people should join. Yeah, it's a free community.
All right,
You should
cool. This is
reserve
fun.
the domain name ballsdeepak.com.
No, we did
I like
this
it. I get it.
no real coach Deepak. We did it for my Hindi channel, and it exploded for 60,000 subscribers. So I thought, like let's have this brand then.
I don't know. You should
And
think
for
about it though. Balls Deepak.
what
Balls
balls,
Deepak. Yeah.
balls.
Balls
Undeniable.
deep. All right.
Tell,
This
tell me
was
more about
fun.
the documentary though.
See you guys on the next
Glad,
one.
yeah, thanks for jumping in. Just for a minute
So,
more, Deepak, if you will.
mhm.
Tell me more about that documentary because you mentioned that before. I think that's pretty interesting. You
Which
mentioned
one?
next year, do you roughly, like you said, 100 videos or something? Some kind of like
So
project you're
yeah,
working on?
this is like because my whole the existence is based on proof because you see like the buy-in is like as an Indian guy teaching Western guys without proof nobody gonna believe. So that's why like we have I decided like I have to see myself like um, last year that how I would perform if there is no race kind of issue. In India, in Hindi audience, I don't face any race issue, and I explored it really well. So it became like in 6 months we crossed 60K subscribers in Real Coach Deepak Instagram handle. So and that leads me to slow down my international like English part. So we are working since March, like because in the documentary, every face need to be blurred. Like student face need to be blurred, the girl face need to be blurred. So it's like a many hours. So we are about to finish that part. My team is working on it. So we will be releasing. It was planned to release in August, but then I have some issues, and now it will be released soon on my main international channel, Deepak Dating. There I will be
I'm
releasing
looking
it.
at your Instagram now. It looks really fucking crazy. I didn't know how crazy this was. Like the videos, they got shitloads of fucking likes and views. Man, what you got one with like 5 million fucking views. Holy shit.
Yeah, so you
That
see,
I'm gonna
like
have to watch these later.
it's a Hindi language. So you see, like I like I established myself like when I started in 2013. I was going against the flow. I have to go against the flow, and with all this kind of situation, like the resistance I was facing as an Indian guy, I still able to uh, have a like a space in this community, international audience, in international dating community. And sometimes when you see me like the I speak with that confidence because I have deal with the insane amount of resistance in the game, as well as getting the student, as well as that's why I have to be good at everything, in my gaming skills, teaching my students. And then sometimes these guys, like some losers came and they say they have this BS authority game they bring in this community. That's why I have problem, like
Damn, your Instagram's doing real fucking good. Holy shit. Alrighty, anyway, time to wrap this up. Thanks for dropping in again. For the rest of you guys watching, we got another debate on Sunday. We got Rob Kowalski and Maverick Marquez, Polygyny guys, versus Mr. Lucario. I don't know how that one's gonna be. That's probably gonna be pretty wild, but wildly interesting. And I don't know, that's gonna be pretty fascinating one. Just can't imagine what it's going to look like. Thanks for jumping in and game on. And make sure you follow
okay.
community guidelines, guys. Otherwise,
Okay,
shit
guys, then
fucking
take care.
happens, okay?
Bye.